We finally have the full information on Poltergeist for Chandelure in Pokemon Go. If you saw my pre-hype video about Poltergeist, I talked about how Poltergeist could be good on Chandelure, right? And now we got the full information, and I'm going to let you guys know just how bad Poltergeist is on Chandelure. And I'm telling you guys, it's really bad. I mean, you're still going to want to evolve one during community hours just so you have the move for like the novelty. Who knows? Maybe they could update it one day. But if you get really, really good, Chandelure options for PvP or raids or whatever, evolve them the next day. Evolve them the day after the community day because yeah, Poltergeist is just not a good attack. So starting out on the PvP side of things, we have an 80 energy cost for this 140 base power move. And objectively, on paper, I do not know what they're thinking. That's not good. That is worse damage per energy than Shadow Ball, which means the attack is just a bad attack. Now, after getting this data mine from the Pokeminers, basically everybody and their grandma dragged it through the mud, and about an hour later, they updated the Game Master. Niantic did, Pokemon Go, whatever you want to call them. And they changed it to 75 energy cost. Now, is 75 way better? Not really. So the damage per energy with that would be 0.04 higher than Shadow Balls. But the thing is damage per energy doesn't track linearly between differing energy costs, right? It's a good way to compare moves of similar energy costs, but the difference in energy though, it changes the damage demands, right? In practice. And I mean, if you really want to break it down, would you rather use a move of similar damage per energy for a significantly less, a 20 less energy cost, or would you rather use an attack that has 0.04 higher DPE, but for a 20 higher energy cost? And I think the answer is a resounding no. No Pokemon would ever want to have this Poltergeist. None of them would ever want to use it. Every single one that would get it in the future would look at John Hankey and spit on his name because why did you give me this instead of Shadow Ball? It's such a mediocre attack, right? If they went with 70 energy cost, then it would be a not bad attack. It would be a very okay attack. You wouldn't feel that bad about it if you got it instead of Shadow Ball, right? But with 75 or higher energy cost, it's just not a good attack ever. Moving on to raids, things aren't that much better. I mean, at a base, Poltergeist already had it pretty hard, being a single bar charge move. Single bar charge moves are often always inferior to multi-bar charge moves in practice just because of how raids and energy works. But it had a chance if it had a 1.9 second cooldown. And what we have is a 3.2 second cooldown. So it's way too long, and as a result, it'll never have any use cases over Shadow Ball. If it had a 1.9-ish second cooldown, maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit worse, then it would have use cases over Shadow Ball, as I talked about in my previous hype video. But with 3.2 second cooldown, there will never be a point in time where anything will ever want to use this attack. They will most definitely want to have Shadow Ball, not Poltergeist, and Chandelure, who already has Shadow Ball, will never want to use it in raids. It's just a super bad attack. And there is no real redeeming it, because when it comes to like the cooldown, I imagine part of it has to do with how they've got like the animation set or something. I don't know what goes all into it, right? But what I do know is that it's a bad move, and I don't expect it to get any better in the future. To make matters worse too, I think its damage window starts at 2.8 seconds. So because it has such a late damage window too, it's like even worse than what it could be, because that means if you get knocked out before 2.8 seconds go by, then your damage won't register. So it's just bad. It's just incredulously bad. And it blows my little mind, because I know that there are smart people at Niantic. I know that they are not dumb, and I don't understand what benefit there is to them to make Poltergeist such an underwhelming bad move. A move that Chandelure does not want to have. It does not want this attack. You don't want to evolve on community day, you want to evolve the next day because it's that bad of an attack. And what benefit is there? If they went with the parameters I talked about, 70 energy cost, and then the 1.9-ish second cooldown, like, it wouldn't be a good attack. It wouldn't be an overwhelmingly powerful attack. People wouldn't be lining up praying that with the next update, their beloved Pokemon gets Poltergeist 2. it would just be a okay attack. It would be a not bad attack. There would be no anti-hype with it. It would just be there. It wouldn't take away from the situation. And so I don't understand why they'd want to, like, you know, rain on their own parade, because Chandelure Community is already pretty hype. Why they would make it bad? And I know that it's like, well, they're already going to profit off the hype of the new shiny and the shiny that people have been demanding. And it is a really cool looking shiny. I do like shiny Chandelure. It's really nice. But, like, why make the move bad? You know, it's not that everything has to be good, but for a community day Pokemon, special event move, why make it, like, objectively horrible? Why not make it just okay? And they could have done that, so I just don't know why. But that's all I gotta say about Poltergeist right now. Sorry for all the negativity in this video. We do have an announcement that there is Shadow Force Giratina Altered Form coming with the Halloween event, so that's pretty hype. So I can, you know, do all the math, draw up the battle plans on how Shadow Force could be good on Giratina, and then I guess then we'd wait and see what Niantic does once again, right? So if you're interested in checking that out, make sure to subscribe to SwagTips. SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these Patreon supporters. If you want to support Swagman on Patreon, link in the description.